I did, yeah. This
What
was in
what'd you
99.
think? No, no, I'm sorry.
It was
I'm talking about Patrick last
Oh yeah.
weekend.
I mean, I was
And
back chopping things up. And what I wanted to know from Patrick is, can you process what you're saying right now and know that what you went through will apply later in life, and that kind of determination will play a benefit in whatever you do?
Yeah, I always think that um I don't know what I'm gonna do. I want to go into MMA. I want to fight after I'm done wrestling, like my brother. Um, and I think if you can go through 8 matches at the NCAA tournament and battle through them all, I think there's not really much you can't do. Either whether it's in sport or in the real world. And it was really cool to actually see Malik Amin tweeted something about if he's a CEO of a company, Pat McKee would be the first one to hire. And I think it's really cool to see. I'm going to be honest. It's just something where, um, I don't know. It's like I've never really thought about going into the real world yet, just because I still have 2 more years of wrestling. But it's good to know that this is going to translate and people are starting to notice that.
in the after the placing matches, they bring you guys back there so we can talk to you and ask you questions and interview you. And along the way, you said, and I don't know if this was like on purpose or it just became part of your vocabulary, but you're like this and that. I love the fight, and then you went on. You were talking, and I was like, I know I've heard that before, right?
Yeah.
From Brandon Paulson, and like how much of that mentality comes into play. What we just saw.
Is all that's all of it, honestly. Like I can't. It's like you're right. You're right. It's part of my vocabulary. It's like it's ingrained in my mind of like I don't I don't want this to be easy. It's not going to be It's not going to be like as satisfying if it's easy. When it's hard and gritty and you know that you left it all out there and it was an absolute dogfight and you went to war. That's when it's really satisfying and after a weekend like that, you can really sit back and appreciate what you did. And I think like just that mentality of loving the fight is something that even like I said, Peyton Robb, we were talking after uh, we both won our blood round, and then we both won our next matches, and we were starting to get our weight off. That's something that you have to go lose 5-6 pounds. That's loving the fight right there. Not no other sport does that. Like it's just not. People can't fathom what we go through for that. And so it's just we said it to each other, and it was like, yeah, we love the fight. Like it's so fun, but it's kind of crazy, I guess.
Well, and like speaking of crazy, something you said earlier, you're like, I didn't. I went through this run on the backside. I didn't want to be done. I want more matches. I love to wrestle. I want to keep. Hell, I want to wrestle right now. I don't know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
have you ever like if there's ever a time that's gonna make you want to take some days off and not wrestle, it'd be after that 8 matches at the NCAA's. Has there ever been? Do you ever come back from Fargo? Do you ever do a long camp, a J something where you're like, okay, I'm done. Give me. Let me get away for a second.
Yeah, I think like, and there was times during the season even, it gets to be a long season where say we were coming back from Iowa, you kind of have a long day of travel and all that, get back and we have to practice, get some weight off. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it gets long and sometimes, especially when you're cutting weight and it gets hard, like you don't really want to wrestle. So there was a couple times throughout this season where I'm like, I just kind of want to take a day or two off and focus on maybe lifting or some cardio stuff instead of getting on the mat. And it's always a good mental reset. I think I always call it kind of like a creative like reset because I'll get so I'll start overthinking things way too much when I'm wrestling every single day. So sometimes we kind of take a little bit of time off and you come back, you just for some reason you're a completely new wrestler and
Yeah.
you just move freely, don't really worry about what you've been focusing on so much. And yeah, I guess to get back to what you're saying, I can't even remember what
I
we were
can't either.
talking about.
I can't either. But I wouldn't like.
Yeah, yeah.
What was that?
There was I used to, especially after like camps,
Oh yeah.
um, you know, you take some days off. I used to not be as obviously as focused on wrestling as I am now, but
Sure.
like even yesterday I went and got a little sweat in just because you got to get some of that lactic acid out and start
Yeah.
moving around. You can't be sitting around for too long.
I guess to the point now of hey, needing a day off. We wrestled Iowa, long travel. Maybe that was Friday. Maybe you have Sunday, or maybe whatever. Big Ten season when you're wrestling nonstop. I mean, do you have the relationship or the connection with the coaches to be able to say, hey, I need the freedom, flexibility, whatever you want to call it. Can you go to your coaches and say, man, I need a day. Can I just let me stay off the mats?
Yeah, I do. Early this year and throughout this whole year, my knee has been pretty banged up. I have to tape it every single practice, and there was a couple practices where I can't even go through the whole practice because it'll like kind of pop out, not like pop out, but kind of wiggle around a little bit, and it'll lock up. So I couldn't even like straighten my leg, and so I'd be wrestling good, wrestling live, having fun, and then all of a sudden it would kind of get tweaked. It would lock up, couldn't straighten it, couldn't really put weight on it. And so there was a time where I didn't even wrestle live for 3 weeks to a month. It was just, I was just going through whether bike workouts or rope, kind of battle rope workouts with my coaches, just trying to simulate that cardio experience. But there's really nothing else that can stimulate that same or get you that same experience. So I think it was can't really remember what duel it was after where I was just absolutely exhausted in a match, and I was like, shit, I need to find a way to get back on the mat. So that's really when I started hitting a lot more rehab workouts in with my trainer and just finding a way to get through practice because you need to get that live in.
Yeah. What the first semester, second semester? When about was this 3 to 4 week period you're talking about?
I think it was first semester. But really, like throughout the whole year, it really has been the longest year for me, just because there's days, many days in a row where I couldn't, it's just my knee has been not good this year, and there's been days where I can barely even bend it and barely wrestle live, and so there was a lot of times where I just had to talk to my coaches, and we had to figure out a way to kind of recover throughout the week and just peak every week for that duel at the end of the week.
Sure. To the point of there, you're talking about it's a long season. You got banged up, and a lot of people get banged up. If I gave you the one, I'm like, you're the president of wrestling, or college wrestling, whatever. You get to make this decision. You can make wrestling a single semester sport and shave a month, or make it shorter, almost more like last year's season, right, with fans and how it was kind of condensed. Let's go January to April versus November to March, or something like that. Would you do that? Would you want it to be a second semester sport?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I think I
Or
do
a
like
shorter sport.
the beginning of
Shorter.
the season just because you get a little bit more of those individual tournaments in
Mm-hmm.
versus we didn't even really we got a couple duels in. I think 2 or 3 duels, I can't remember, in before December, but it's more of like those open tournaments that you just kind of get back into the swing of things. So it is nice because you don't have to go right away into wrestling a Big Ten opponent
Sure.
like we did last year.
I guess that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I mean, if you could kind of, I guess add those individual or those open tournaments in the beginning of January versus going straight into wrestling. I forgot who we wrestled first duel last year, but I remember it wasn't an easy match.
Yeah. I think there's a way.
Yeah,
to
there could be a way.
two weekends of open tournaments or something like that, and then a week off and then duels, or I don't know.
But then you get into the problem of let's get into freestyle and Greco. Like
True.
people want to get into that, and when it starts getting into April, that starts bumping into that more. And I see that more and more with youth wrestling. Is like the tournaments go so late now for folk style that kids get maybe like a month of freestyle and Greco. If you're elementary, once you start getting into high school, middle school, then you can get Fargo, which is later. But it's like kids aren't getting enough freestyle and Greco now. I think it's kind of sad because, man, I love those sports. I love freestyle and Greco, and I wrestled that all the way through July. So I wish every kid could do that.
On that note, are you going to compete freestyle Greco this either and or both this spring, summer?
Probably just freestyle, unfortunately. I was gonna wrestle a little bit of Greco last year, and I'll still go. I'll go to wrestle some Greco practices. And it definitely helps when you're dating Brandon Paulson's daughter. You get dragged into some of those practices sometimes. But yeah, I'm gonna be wrestling at U23s for sure. Trying to make that first world team. I kind of want to go to senior national or senior open, just because that's such a fun weekend, such a fun tournament.
Heck yeah.
But we'll see how the body's feeling.
I'll be down there. I'm excited. That's a really fun weekend.
It's fun. It gets a little bit long, especially like when I was back in the day wrestling Greco and freestyle. It was like a long weekend, but love it.
Yeah. And like I'm just not now you got me shifted, like thinking about this, and it's like you got the US Open with everything that comes with it. You got U23s going on. Then for the seniors, there's like World Team Trials in May, Final X twice in June. It's like it's freestyle season.
It is. Yep. Now, like actually when it really hit me was we had a day or for our national qualifiers, we were off the mat. We were just getting in, like just a stance and motion workout. And our other guys who hadn't qualified were wrestling freestyle. I was like, all right, let's go. It's just fun. I'm like seeing some gut wrenches and leg laces.
Yep.
Yeah. Now time to shift into that now. Freestyle.
Now you got me thinking about that. Freestyle versus folk style, but like practices, not just guts versus tilts or all that, but like you feel like there's like a different tone or tempo or pace to like a freestyle practice versus folk style practice?
Sure, 100%. Yeah. I mean, for us, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like most.
It's who's running practice, but there definitely is a different pace because during the freestyle season, you're a lot more. You're not as stressed out about having a duel every week, and so you can just kind of focus on your training and focus on just having fun more. Obviously, you try to have fun all the time through folk style season, but it gets to be a grind. So you get people who are fat and happy, just rolling around wrestling and beating each other up. It's fun.
Yeah, I was just thinking like freestyle just has a different vibe. Like folk style is so not that freestyle is not like serious, especially at the highest of high levels, but it just seems more. It's almost like jiu-jitsu is like this whole really super lax culture. Like wrestling's like, especially folk style is like pretty buttoned up and like heightened awareness. And freestyle is like somewhere kind of in the middle. Now that I think about it.
For sure, yeah, you're 100% right. I was actually just talking to Coach Sanders, about this, and it's talking about the same thing. How it's like people are way less stressed out. It's just like spring. It's getting to be nice out. You go freaking scrap for 2 hours, have fun, and then go outside, and it's basically summertime, and just you don't have to go outside, freeze your butt off like we do in Minnesota in the winter. But
yeah. All right. Well, hey, we're moving along, but I'm going to pass it off to Kyle Klingman. He's got a little section and a couple questions for you. Maybe more. Cool.
I know you want to recover, but we have a game called Sweat It Out. 5 questions, hoping to make you sweat just a little bit. Are you ready to play, Patrick McKee?
Hey, I'm ready to go.
All right.
He's
Number
ready.
1. Where were the 1968 Olympics held?
Was that at Atlanta?
No, it was not.
Let me think. I should know this. My uncle was there. Um,
Yeah, he was an Olympic gold medalist, right? And you got to explain that a little
yeah,
bit. I have no idea
I should probably
how that.
know this. Okay, I'm gonna go with maybe Athens,
It was actually Mexico City.
Mexico City. Dang, way wrong. Way wrong.
I was
Jeez.
thinking
And your
Rome.
uncle.
Was that 1960?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, but go ahead. The uncle.
Yeah, you have an uncle that was a gold medalist, right? 4x1.
Yep. Yeah, I think I had a picture on here somewhere. Yeah, he married my mom's aunt, so yeah, not blood related, but he's blood. He's my family.
Cool. Number 2, what former world heavyweight boxing champion was featured in the film The Hangover?
Mike Tyson.
Yep. Got it. This one, I hope you get this one. What year did Brandon Paulson win a silver medal at the Olympic Games?
1996.
Yep. Boy. Glad you got that.
He broke a
Oh,
sweat.
man, you paused for a second. I was like, shoot, wait, what?
You got it.
I would've
Number
been-
4.
I would've been in trouble on that one.
Who was the first American to win a gold medal at the World Championships in the Greco-Roman discipline?
Wow. I have no idea, but I'm gonna go with Dan Chandler. I don't know.
No, it was actually Mike Hauk from Robbinsdale, Minnesota.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Yep. 1985. And then number
Indeed.
5, what current Division I head wrestling coach replaced Cale Sanderson at the 2001 World Championships and won a silver medal in his place?
Let me think about this one. That's Brandon Agam right there.
Got it.
That's a dog. Yep.
Got it.
What do we
Sweet.
get?
Nice work.
4 out of 5?
It's not
I
bad.
think 4 out of 5. Yeah,
Take
it's
that.
pretty good.
80%.
Pretty good.
It's a
Yeah.
B. Okay, we got another game for you, Patrick. This one's called Wins and Whoopings. So if you think back to the span of your entire career, I want to hear about one win and one like just straight up ass whooping you took. And they could be your best win, your favorite, or just memorable for any reason. Could be in the middle of one of those runs. It could be Fargo. It can be Pee Wee League. I don't care. But one memorable win and one really bad whooping. Either one first.
I'll go with a memorable whooping. There's a couple of them, but honestly, the one that really stands out to me was when I wrestled Ethan Lezak at the South Dakota State Open, and I just remember how, there was a lot of build up to it because I'd pinned Chris Williams leading up to that, and Flo was putting it on. You guys were putting it on like, who's gonna win? Ethan Lezak or Patrick McKee. I'm like, oh boy, like this is a debate here. And he took me down pretty fast and was able to turn me. So I'll say that's a whooping. And a memorable win would be shoot, it's weird how you think about your losses a little bit more than your wins sometimes.
Dude, almost everybody says that.
I'll say Fargo Finals was a good one against Joey Melendez, or against Rayvon Foley in the semifinals of Fargo. That was a good one. That was like a 35-point match probably.
Those are the best.
Yeah,
Dude,
that was
flying.
crazy.
Body's flying. Awesome. Well, shoot, man, that kind of takes us to the end of the line. We're 4 for 5. Played our games, wins and whoopings, and really.
You guys notice how I got the first question wrong, and I rallied back the next 4. Weird how that works out. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. You're the best.
Patrick, before we go, I just want to show Tyler actually has a picture he was going to post on how exhausting the NCAA championships are. I don't know if Tyler has that ready, but this is just an example of how
I don't think he's got it.
he doesn't have
He
it.
just
That's all
popped
right.
him. He might be looking it up. So when's the next time you'll get on the mat? We'll give him a couple minutes. When's the next time you think you'll get on the mat?
I kind of want to focus on just lifting right now, and I'm gonna be working on my striking, MMA striking and boxing.
How much of that have you done?
So probably. What's up?
How much like jiu-jitsu or striking or any kind of moving towards MMA have you tinkered with or played around with or tried?
Quite a bit. I could be ready soon for a fight.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't really worked too much jiu-jitsu or groundwork, but I've done a lot of pad work, a lot of striking. So in that aspect, I'm pretty far ahead of where a lot of people would be transitioning into MMA. Like I know when my brother moved down to Florida to go to Sanford MMA, he was very raw. He hadn't done much at all.
Yeah.
So from where he was to where I am right now, I'm pretty far ahead of him.
You're putting yourself in a good position. Have you sparred with him or,
I haven't sparred with okay, there was one time, but we rolled around some jiu-jitsu and it may have been 4th of July, so we were having some fun and I actually choked him out twice or made him tap twice. One of the times I put him out cold actually, like we had to shake his legs. I'm not even kidding you. And so I was like telling the coaches, or I was telling like Logan Stroll, I'm like, he's got some work to do, guys. But
man,
he would whoop me now.
Okay.
He's got a lot of experience down there. But me and Michael Blockus, we spar sometimes just boxing. And he's gonna be a menace in fighting, that's for sure.
Man, it's so fun to think like just give it a couple years, we're gonna see these guys, start to work their way up pretty quickly through the MMA ranks. But until then, we're just gonna see you kill it on the backside. Oh, I thought it was gonna be a picture of Patrick.
There's a picture here.
I thought it was gonna be a picture of Patrick.
No, it's
Was this at the Boys this weekend?
This is Saturday.
Oh,
boy, I mean, people are exhausted.
It's that's in the media room.
Yeah,
That's
mean,
what it's about, right?
I bet it. Like, obviously, we're going through all the matches. Like, I was wrestling a lot of matches, but I have so much like adrenaline. I've drank a lot of Spark. I've got some energy. But when you're a fan, like, I'm gonna be honest, it's pretty exhausting. Or even what you guys are doing with video and everything, like, it's different. Like, I've coached a couple tournaments, and I'm like, geez, I don't know how my coaches do it, to be honest.
Coaching's out of all that, like the worst as far as draining, because you're up and then you're down and then you're all over the place. Your guy just gets a big upset over somebody. Your guy just gets upset.
Yeah, and you got 9 guys to worry about, or 10 guys, instead of just worrying about yourself. So
yeah,
shout out to all the coaches out there.
Shout out. Hopefully some of them got to sleep in today, but probably not. A lot of them had kids, so.
Maybe the ones without kids.
Yeah. Shout out to them. Enjoy it. But man, I've been enjoying this. This has been a great time, Patrick. It's been an awesome way to kick off our day our show right after the NCAA championships. A lot of great insight from you. Awesome tournament. Awesome perspective. Love it, man. Anything you want to say before we let you move on and get on with your day?
No, I mean, just happy to be here. Thank you very much for having me on. It's been great, the love and support I've been getting after this tournament and during the tournament. A lot of people shout me out on Twitter, like JB, or people shout me out on Instagram. So if you want to see those shout outs, just go follow me on either of those.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Patrick. I appreciate it. Have a great
Thanks
rest of your day.
for having me on. You have a great rest of your day.
I'll see you. Man, Kyle, that was a banger of a show, and really an awesome way to just kind of follow up the NCAA championships. Like really in-depth perspective.
Yeah, what a really solid interview, solid kid, and I think we're excited to watch him in MMA and see what his future is going to be. And he'll be one of those flyweight divisions, but I think he has a good future.
Yeah, super stoked. So that's going to do it for today's show. We'll be back. I believe Bryce Andonian will be on tomorrow, and should be great. So for Kyle Klim, I'm Mark Bader. We'll see you tomorrow.